Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. This is part 3 of What If Deku Was Trained by Mike Guy. If you enjoy, make sure to show some love, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. As always, make sure to leave any suggestions you have for future What Ifs in the comment section below. I know a lot of you have wanted Naruto stuff. I know a lot of you have wanted other what ifs, and that is coming. I really do need more time just to like prepare and like figure out what I want to do, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched Naruto in a while, and I don't know if I can really do it justice without either having a rewatch or watching some sort of video that catches me up on everything that I already should know but kind of need to refresh myself on. So I will get to that sooner rather than later, I promise. But for now, we're sticking with the Deku What Ifs just for a little bit. Maybe we'll do some more solo leveling. Maybe we'll do some other stuff as well. But that is to be determined at this point. With that said, though, I don't want to waste much more of your time, and I want to get right into the What If. So let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is actually sitting on the sidelines watching the UA Sports Festival. It is truly unfortunate, but recovery time is very important, and well, he didn't necessarily hurt himself to the degree that he could have, but they definitely want to have their precautions, believing that Izuku should definitely sit on the sideline for the UA Sports Festival, and unfortunately the world isn't going to be able to see this, well, brand new quirkless potential hero. Someone that really has been making a lot of headway. Izuku has been basically being touted as somebody who possibly could break the mold for being a quirkless hero, which is pretty damn impressive and pretty damn awesome to think about. But Izuku unfortunately is not going to be able to show off his skills, but he would be able to start training with Gran Torino right after the UA Sports Festival, so he's very excited for that. He would watch the UA Sports Festival, but he wouldn't really be that entertained by that idea or even what's going on. He just continues his training, his review, his kind of things that he needs to kind of get down in his own brain, and he continues to do this for a while, and eventually he goes off to train with Gran Torino, in which this training is something else, because even Gran Torino initially thought that the kid had one for all, but unfortunately he does not. Izuku really hasn't gone down that pathway yet, and he or All Might hasn't really brought it up to him really in the first place. At least they haven't really talked about it seriously, especially after All Might's talk with Might Guy. But Gran Torino would train him just like he would train anyone else, and he would mentor him, teaching him different ways and even helping him with the 8 gates. It might sound insane, but that's what Gran Torino's wisdom and kind of mental, like, you know, psyche breakdown and stuff like that could really help with help Izuku for, is learning to control the 8 gates even better. And if he's able to teach someone how to basically utilize one for all, he could definitely help out, not, you know, perfect or anything like that, but help out with the 8 gates, in which that's what he does. He helps out massively with some kind of tidbits that he believes that Izuku could be utilizing to control the 8 gates and control this power that he holds, and it, let's just say, helps him massively, especially for the earlier gates. He doesn't really have as much strain as he used to back in the day, but at the end of the day, he wants to get to the point where he can use the 7 gates, which I know it is the 8 gates, but he doesn't want to kill himself, so he wants to get to that 7th gate. And eventually, throughout this training, Izuku would actually get a better grasp on the 7th gate, or the Gate of Wonder, and it would be pretty damn beneficial throughout this entire time. And basically makes it so that he could use, for the most part, up to the 6th gate without much strain at all, which is pretty damn impressive, especially for someone who has no durability factor really or anything like that. And it seems like he continues to grow massively even when he has someone other than Might Guy training him. And eventually they would actually go on a bit of a patrol that would take them to Hosu City. But Hosu City is currently in the act of being completely and utterly raided, or basically being taken over. And yes, Shigaraki and many others are not intertwined in this invasion, but All for One is truly intertwined in it, but he still sends Nomus and stuff like that to basically scout out what he wants to scout out and get things situated for himself, and also create a little bit of chaos, in which Izuku would help a lot of people to safety, and eventually this leads him to coming across Tenya Ida and his fight with the Hero Killer. Izuku knew that Tenya was a little bit off, that something was wrong, and he didn't know how to put his finger on it. He didn't know what to put his finger on, in terms of he wasn't sure if his buddy was really in a bad mental state, but it's obvious that he was, because he was hunting the Hero Killer, and the Hero Killer seems to be more or less hunting him now. And Izuku, well, he begins to kind of help fight off the Hero Killer, and with his extended martial arts technique and his ability to utilize the gates, he definitely begins to get a marginal upper hand on the Hero Killer. But eventually he would get cut and he would lick his blood, in which Izuku would be frozen, unable to move, wondering what the hell can he do? What does he have to do? He has to do something, in which he would tell the Hero Killer that he really wishes to win this way. He wishes to hurt kids. He wishes to hurt the future generation, in which he would tell him the future generation would never be like them. I mean, seriously, he's protecting somebody that basically is trying to kill another person. What a horrible person he is. He's no true hero. He's no All Might. Izuku would then tell him that nobody is like All Might. There is only one All Might, and that's truly the fact of it. And well, he tells the Hero Killer that he's protecting Tenya because that is what a hero does. No matter the decisions, no matter what happens, he will protect. And if it was him, if it was the Hero Killer on the ground about to be killed, he would have done the same thing for him, in which immediately the Hero Killer tells him that's just far from the truth. He knows people like them, their quirks that they flaunt and this and that, in which Izuku says, "What quirk? I'm quirkless." In which immediately the Hero Killer calls him a liar, putting a blade up to his neck and telling him to tell the truth now. He saw the fighting strength and power that he was able to do, but Izuku shakes his head and he says, "Look into my eyes. Tell me if I'm lying. I am quirkless." In which the Hero Killer would look into Izuku's eyes and then back up as if he's stunned by what just occurred. He realizes the kid is not lying. He is quirkless. A quirkless student jumped in front of another student to help save him, and he did it without even thinking of the consequences. He did it without even wondering the consequences. The Hero Killer is in complete shock as an iceberg would come barreling over and slam him into the wall. Izuku would get up and then land a kick straight to the face of the Hero Killer, slowly but surely staggering him and almost knocking him out. The Hero Killer kind of sways back and forth and says that if a true hero like him can really exist, maybe there is hope for these other, well, future heroes. Well, so-called future heroes. In which he would pass out, and as he passes out, well, Izuku would sigh in relief. He would look to see Todoroki, and Todoroki would nod his head as if he's acknowledging what Izuku just did and how he was able to handle it on his own. Izuku tells him that if without him, he's not so sure if he would have won, but Todoroki says that it looked like the guy was conjuring up a bit of a plan, and frankly, he probably didn't even need Todoroki's help. He just, well, needed a little bit of time. Izuku nods and says, well, the help is still appreciated nonetheless, in which they wrap up the Hero Killer, getting him in a kind of a restricted place, and then putting him into a police car where he will be put in prison for basically the rest of his life. But of course, Endeavor and many others would have to take the credit for this, in which Izuku would even apologize to Gran Torino about what he has done, about putting basically his name on the line here, because he knows that he wasn't supposed to be in that situation, but he couldn't just allow someone to get hurt. In which Gran Torino says he understands. Actually, he understands too much. He reminds him very, very much of Toshinori, or, well, All Might. He reminds him heavily of All Might, and what he was and how he was when he was a kid. And frankly, it seems more and more Izuku is becoming very similar to him, even though maybe he's not his direct mentor, but he's still becoming a great person. Izuku thanking him and telling him that he wishes to not let anybody down, and he wishes to just get stronger and stronger, in which Gran Torino says with the power that he's learned, whatever it is, truly whatever it is, he'll be more powerful than you could possibly imagine. In which Izuku nods his head and says he just needs more time to train, more time to work at it, more time to hone his skills, in which, of course, Gran Torino says that he will have that time, plenty of it, because he will not have to worry a single thing about being the hero he wants to be, because he already is becoming that hero. Gran Torino would take him back and do a little bit of extra training before he is sent back to UA, but eventually he is sent back, and they're told that the unfortunate incident basically forced the internships to be cut a little bit short, in which Izuku shrugs his shoulders, believing that it was, it's all good nonetheless, and it all works out in the long run, in which Izuku is excited to see what's next, especially with a coming final exam. The final exam would be a written portion first, which would be simple enough in terms of you got to study for it, you got to get right in terms of the exam, but the real thing is the practical. Now, initially everybody believed it to be against, well, robots. I mean, normally it is against robots, but this year they're doing things a little bit different. What are they doing? Well, they're going to be actually training and competing and fighting against the other teachers. Yes, the other teachers, which is pretty insane when you put it into perspective. And Izuku wonders, who's he going to go against? I mean, who's going to be his partner? And eventually it's revealed. Izuku and Bakugo on the same team going against All Might. Now this is something. This is something else, in which, well, Izuku would be standing waiting for his opportunity, and someone is currently watching right now. Currently watching and waiting for Izuku to take the stage, because, well, UA has invited him here. UA invited him to watch his pupil take on the #1 hero, with the assistance of Bakugo, of course, in which Might Guy would pull up in his wheelchair and he would be watching, telling the kid to show him and show everybody the power of youth, in which Izuku would nod his head and he would be determined to defeat All Might, in which he would tell Bakugo that they have no other choice. They're going to have to work together, they're going to have to fight together, and they're going to have to defeat All Might together. Izuku would await his turn and step up as the gates would swing open, and Izuku and Bakugo would go charging forward. There may be a lacking mutual respect between the two of them, but one thing is true: they want to defeat All Might. They want to beat him, and they want to show that they are the future of the hero world. And Izuku doesn't care if he's quirkless, that he's going to show everybody that even without a quirk, you can be the hero you want to be. Izuku immediately going into the 7th gate, not hesitating a single bit. He would actually be able to put on a bit of a clinic against All Might, and the reason why he somewhat struggled against the hero killer was he was not ready for the quirk that was being revealed. And in this term, All Might, don't get me wrong, is extremely powerful, extremely fast, and all the above, but the 7th gate allows Izuku to keep up, and it seems like all the training with Gran Torino, with all the fighting training, with all the kind of recovery training, and also the focusing on not getting your body obliterated training, well, it's definitely helping massively. He's basically putting All Might on the back foot, and everybody's watching as Izuku is showing off, showing everything that he has, showing everything that he's capable of, and he even doesn't have his weights on. His weights on the ground, no longer there. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to do, and he kicks All Might straight in the head and leads with a punch to the stomach, and then another kick straight to the chin of All Might, sending him flying upwards. Izuku would follow him up as he would wrap him in bandages, but as he does, well, All Might would break free, grabbing the kid and throwing him to the ground. Izuku would scream in pain, the pain that he feels because his body is extremely sensitive at this point. He feels insane amounts of pain, but as All Might comes down, he would jump up toward All Might, landing a kick straight to his stomach, landing actually directly on the wound that is actually there, and something he's been dealing with for a while, leading to Bakugo shooting a massive explosion at All Might, giving them a bit of an opening. This opening would allow Izuku to follow up with another punch, then another kick, and then another body shot. As he does this, All Might is actually crumbling just slightly enough, but as he crumbles just over, he would land a perfect punch to Izuku, sending him flying toward the exit gate. Bakugo would see this, and he would explode the ground, creating a giant mist of smoke as he would blast over toward Izuku, grabbing him and then shooting them out of the arena, aka the exit gate to get help, quote unquote. And of course, this isn't how Bakugo wanted to win, but he can still say that he saved Izuku, and he can still say that Izuku definitely is worse than him because he was able to save him, in which he'll be able to hang this over his head for a while, which is something that Bakugo definitely is happy about. But Izuku is a bit frustrated that he was unable to actually beat him. But let's just say Might Guy and All Might are extremely impressed beyond absolute belief. So much so that All Might almost even asked the kid to be his successor, almost asked him in this moment. But as Might Guy stands there, well, or not stands there, you know what I mean. As Might Guy basically hangs out there, well, All Might would look at him, and Might Guy would shrug his shoulders, as All Might would decide not to bring it up once again, not wanting to really put this kid in this type of situation, wondering if his best choice is to really grant Mirio the one-for-all quirk. But he's not so sure, not just yet. But luckily, Izuku and many others are going to have an exciting time at the forest training camp, because the forest training camp would allow them to do a ton of training, and without any kind of extra things going on, without any extra people intervening, you could say, Izuku would definitely be able to do a ton of training during this forest training camp. This basically allows him to gather even more preparation for the usage of the 7th gate, and more preparation to use the entirety of all the gates. And it would be perfect for his entire training session. That includes getting chucked off the mountain. That includes everything they do beyond just the kind of destroying the earth-like monsters and stuff like that. Even beyond that, they continue training, and it's the entire forest training camp. They're able to train throughout the entirety of it, and Izuku benefits from this massively. But when they start heading home, when they would soon head home after this amazing training, after this this insane progress, they would have no clue what's waiting for them. No clue that they'd be walking or driving right into a catastrophe. Because when they drive in, a Nomu would come barreling out of nowhere, smacking into the bus, tipping it over, and it seems like the Nomu itself is trying to attract one person and one person only, and that is All Might, trying to attract All Might out and get him out here right now. And Izuku, well, he wonders what are they supposed to do? What is going to happen? I mean, seriously, like, they got to do something, in which Aizawa would say they are doing something, in which they would get all the kids to a safe spot, and they would watch on a TV as All Might would fend off multiple Nomus, defeating them, and then having to face off with All For One, already tired, already exhausted, and already bloodied. Izuku would say that All Might can't win. He can't. He needs help. He tells Aizawa this, and Aizawa says that nobody here, nobody anywhere will be able to help All Might in this fight. Izuku, in his own kind of way, thinks, what if there is a way? What if he can help? He has to try. He has to do something. He has to do something, right? Izuku doesn't know. He doesn't know what he should do, in which he would turn around and see all his friends, all of these students looking at the screen intently and wondering what could they do even if they were in the situation. Izuku would shake his head and he would immediately start walking toward the door. Aizawa telling him to stop right now or he's going to make him. Izuku looks at Aizawa and says, no offense, you aren't going to be able to stop me. I'm not like the rest of them. I have no quirk. I'm quirkless. Good luck trying to cancel it. In which he goes to walk away as a scarf would wrap around him. Izuku would sling Aizawa forward and kick him toward a wall and shakes off the scarf. But as he shakes off the scarf would wrap around him and basically wrap around his shoulders. Izuku says that he apologizes, but he knows how to use this thing. Trust him. Aizawa would immediately tell him to not do this, that he's really, really pushing his luck. He has the potential of being something greater, being a symbol for the people that are quirkless, being a symbol for those who are shown as less. If you go out there, you will die. Izuku shrugs his shoulders and says that if he dies, it was just his time, and that he would do anything just to save one life. Izuku would head out there and he would activate the 7th gate, charging in as he would kick an All For One who was just mildly distracted, but All Might is completely out of commission already. He is completely out and almost to his absolute limit, actually getting to the point where his quirk is petering away as they speak. He tries to get his muscular form back, but it's so difficult to maintain. Izuku tells All Might that he'll buy him some time to rest, but All Might says it won't matter. It won't. Izuku tells him once again to rest because he has this. Don't worry. Izuku would basically lock eyes with All For One and they would begin to fight. Might Guy watching this on the television wonders what he can do. Can he really get over there? Maybe he can help the kid. Maybe he can do something. But he shakes his head. His days of helping are over. Now it's up to him. Now it's up to this kid. All of it relies on him. All of the dreams, all of the hopes, all of these people, they are carried on the shoulders of Izuku Midoriya right here and right now. Izuku clashing with All For One, he does something insane. He even cracks the mask of All For One as All For One would take it off and says that he did good. The kid did good, and his power, it's impressive. But this is where he'll die. Stabbing him with a tendril in his side, sending him flying backwards toward All Might as All Might would get in the way and catch him. A bloody All Might catches Izuku and tries to hold his wound shut. Izuku would say that everything's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. As he's slowly healing and kind of getting back some of the blood, but it seems like All Might and Izuku's blood has mixed with themselves. All Might would say that something might happen right now, kid. Something that really, really and truly is the only way for you to defeat him. Izuku looks at him and he can feel his body surge. His body surges with power in a matter of seconds. This, well, he can feel it. He can feel that he's going to have to open the 8th gate. But this power, this isn't the 8th gate. He's not even close to it yet. He hasn't even fully decided to open it yet. What is his strength? What is his power? 10%, 20%, 30, 50. He feels it. It's surging through his body. Izuku looks at All Might, and All Might nods his head as he shrinks down entirely, going into his small might form permanently, and Izuku would stand there, electricity sparking off of him, but it's odd. It's like this bluish mist-like electricity One for All combining with the 7th gate. He would charge forward in a split second and land a punch that would send All for One flying toward the ground, leading to him following up with a kick straight to the face, and he slams All for One multiple times as All for One tries to recover and shoot back tendrils and even throws Nomus his way, but each Nomu down with a single punch. The speed is ridiculous. The speed is uncanny. It's nothing he's ever seen before. The power he holds. What does this mean? What is this? Who are you? Izuku stands there with blue lightning striking off of his body, flickering over and over again, and he would tell him that he is Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless hero, landing a kick straight to the head of All for One. Might Guy watching, cheering Izuku on, and he would go spiraling toward the ground, and Izuku would stand above All for One as All for One is out cold entirely. Completely out of it, completely done. All for One would be defeated. Izuku would raise his fist to the sky, and immediately he would say that I am next. Izuku would look at the camera and say that I am a quirkless hero, and I will be the next All Might. No, I will be the next great hero. Immediately, Japan itself would start screaming, start yelling, would start being excited. Izuku Midoriya has done it. He's saved the day. He's saved All Might. He's defeated All for One. But what did it cost? What did it truly cost? All Might no longer will be able to utilize the quirk that makes him who he is. But Izuku has it. Does this deteriorate what Izuku has worked for, trained for everything his entire life? Does it get rid of all the hard work that he's been trying to uphold? Izuku would let All for One get taken away. All for One, the League of Villains, completely and utterly erased, and soon they would find information on this monstrous creature by the name of Gigantomachia, and they would be able to even get him under wraps pretty quickly with the help of various heroes, because he wasn't exactly ready to be awakened just yet. But the main thing on Izuku's mind is what happens with All Might, what happens with his someone who he's looked up to. He might not be his mentor, Might Guy is, but he still is someone he's looked up to his entire life. What happens to All Might? In which All Might tells him that All Might truly is no more. The power he has now gone, but Izuku says that maybe, just maybe, All Might, being All Might, is so much more than just having power. Being All Might is so much more than having the strength and having the power and having the saves. Maybe it's time for him to help and save others in a different way. He would look at Izuku and nod, and he would think that the kid is right. He's 100% right. And he hates to spring this on him, but he would like him to maintain One for All, maintain the power, and utilize it to its fullest extent. But remember, that quirkless part of him, it'll never go away just because he gained a quirk. The gates, the 7, the 8 gates, the power, the strength, all of the things he's worked for is proof of a quirkless human being being strong enough to stand up to the most terrifying and the most dangerous people in the world. All Might tells him this, and even Might Guy, who is currently there at UA, would solidify this. All Might says that, well, since he's a little bit out of his comfort zone with teaching, and he's not as strong as he used to be now, he believes that Might Guy should start working with some of them as well, maybe training them, and maybe, just maybe, eventually teaching others the 8 gates. In which Izuku smiles and thinks that's a great idea, a fantastic one. But he tells Might Guy to go easy on him. Don't hurt the other kids. In which Might Guy would laugh and say, of course he definitely will not go easy on them, because how is he going to shape them into the future heroes if he tries to let them off easy? In which Izuku laughs about it and says that's exactly what he wanted to hear, in which he tells All Might that he will be the best hero he has ever seen, and he will make sure to carry on the legacy of One for All proudly. But of course, there's so much more to do. So much more. Izuku may have gained a quirk, gained a power, gained this power of the #1 hero, but his journey is far from over, and you're going to have to find out what happens in the next and final parts of What If Deku Was Trained by Might Guy. And if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.